Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day and welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, episode 143. Dizzy, here we are.
Mate, it's good to be here. We've got a huge episode. We've got Nathan Eates, the man behind Cape Calamari. We are really looking forward to having a chat with him. We're going to keep it as positive as we possibly can, but of course we're going to cover all things Algal Bloom and his first-hand experience on the ground down there at the Cape.
Yes, Diz, we are, but let's first get into our oranges and lemons.
Go on then.
Dizzy, I don't want to say it, but I think we're over the worst of winter.
Oh,
you know, you get those nut days, the middle of the day, the sun's out, it's really nice. The days are getting a little bit longer.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's the days getting longer that starts making me think a little bit about the weather getting better.
And don't you love this time of year? You only need you need an 18-degree day and the sun out.
Yeah.
And you think you're just optimistic
you're
about
like,
the weather. The good weather's coming. Spring's on its way. I'm calling it early.
Yeah, good call. Don't mind that at all. All right, my orange is the whiting at Port Hughes, mate. It was a great day out. We had a great time with Richard and Simon. Fishing was good. Company was as good, probably with the exception
not better.
of you, slightly better.
Yeah, fair enough.
But good fun had by all. It was great to get into some tings.
It certainly was, Diz, and we're going to get Richard on the podcast in the coming weeks to do a bit of a debrief.
Yes. All right, Roddy, what's your lemon?
Look, we went over there with high hopes to Port Hughes.
Yes, we did.
And we did catch fish. We did pretty well. What did we got 21.
Yeah, something like that.
21 keepers, something like that. But they got 80 the week before.
Yeah.
And they tagged and released. They threw heaps back. They were playing funny buggers. They were, they were taking the absolute mickey the week before.
And as everyone would have seen, it was a couple of weeks before that we did go down. They would have seen your recent social media effort, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but a recapture.
Yeah, so they tagged fish, which was cool, and we re-caught a fish. And
so they obviously survived well after being tagged, which is always good to see those recaptures.
They do, but I suppose the lemon is there was 2 of them the week before and they got 80, and then there was 4 of us and we got 21.
Yes.
How do we feel about that?
Well, there was more than 2 of them because they got 30, so they got the bag.
Okay, fair enough.
But my lemon is going to be not this part of the story. It's my birthday coming up.
Oh, yeah, that must be real sad for you.
To sort of sneak that in, but I was chatting to Millie very recently. She was asking me what I wanted for my birthday, and I sort of plonked a few ideas in there, and then she said, do you mind if I go through your top drawer and use one of your vouchers to go and buy one of my presents?
That's a bit rich.
I mean, that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable scenes.
In her defence, I've never seen someone who stockpiles vouchers like you do.
Whenever I get a voucher, I'm like, I'll save it up and I'll buy something I really want.
And you never buy anything with them.
And I think well, what's the point of me going down there and buying a bloody T-shirt or something?
You're like one of those people that don't they instead of investing in stocks, they invest in gold or foreign currency? You just invest in BCF vouchers.
Just a safe haven. BCF vouchers is a safe haven for your money, by the way. They're never going under. They'll be fine. But look, more importantly, I'm not spending my money at BCF at the moment. They can get stuffed.
Understandable.
Mate. I'm going to the local tackle shops, your sport fishing scenes of the world, mate. That's where you need to be going down and spending your
support the little guys during this.
I'm actually thinking about selling my BCF vouchers.
Can you see if
I convert that into some other currency that I can use at sport fishing scene or a better tackle store? People buy you BCF vouchers because that's what they see in the Woolworths aisle.
Yeah.
If they
convenient. If they knew you well, they'd know you'd rather go out and get some customer service.
Of course I would. If they knew me well enough, they wouldn't have bloody bought me that crap. Anyway, let's move on, Rhodey. Let's get into... the BCFs, they sell some good Shimano gear there.
Oh, beautiful, Diz. All right, let's talk about the merch, Diz. What do you think? I hear you up with a message the other day. Do we need to do a cricket hat?
It was rogue message.
Don't you think?
You've sent me a photo of a broad brim hat from Cricket Warehouse.
No, Cricket Warehouse do like custom logos.
Yeah.
So we can get a cricket hat for the podcast. What do you think? I'm bringing this to the listeners live. Hit us up if you've got some feedback on cricket hats.
Look, anybody who played cricket as a youngster would know that classic white broad brim hat.
I think we can get a navy or a green though, like a darker colour. A bit more fishing
got
friendly.
Scrunched up and thrown in your school bag, or it got stuffed at the bottom of your cricket bag. Somehow it just pulled out and it became miraculously flat.
But
it
anyway,
defied all physics.
If you're keen on a cricket style hat as a bit of merch, let us know. I'm after some feedback.
Good call. All right, Rody, what's been happening on the socials, mate? You been busy?
Yeah, Diz, that tagged whiting post went pretty well. Got a fair bit of feedback on that, Diz, and I don't know how many times people have done that, caught a whiting a week later on the exact same spot. I don't know if that's a rare occurrence.
Impressive.
You know, you see the ones that are like a kingfish that swum 2,000 kilometres.
Yeah, they're impressive too.
We caught a whiting that swum 4 metres.
Yeah.
From one side of the boat to the other side of the boat in a week.
Still impressive.
But interesting, like I was thinking about this. If they said they tagged about 30 fish the week before, and then we caught 21, 22 a week later, and only one of them had a tag in it. So there must be a hell of a lot of fish down there. Yeah. Some science nerd could like do the maths and, you know, replicate how many fish are down there. But there'd be hundreds.
Oh, yeah. Of course there would be, mate.
So if you do the maths, there's a lot of fish.
Good call. All right, what else is coming up on the socials, mate? We're doing a giveaway.
We are, Diz. So we've got an Ultegra reel. Did I get that out?
Getting that out. It's a beautiful Shimano Ultegra reel. It's a lovely kit, and we're going to combo it up with the Azalis.
Yes, so the Azalis 702 medium light spin rod. So that'll be an absolutely ripping
dynamite on the King
whiting
George
combo. Or squid.
Dynamite on the squid. Dynamite on some salmon. Dynamite off a jetty.
Freshwater.
It's an all-rounder.
You could do it all.
Freshwater. Of course you could. It's a great piece of kit, and what we're thinking, Rhodey, is for this one, and we'll of course do the specifics in a post that'll come on the socials, but we want you to send us in the way that you are supporting local and the way that you are supporting the fishing industry.
Yeah, we want a bit of positivity amongst all this negativity of the algae. We want to move forward, and we want to hear about something good you're doing, Diz.
Yeah, good call. So we're thinking those of you who have never fished freshwater might be like, I've gone down to my tackle store, I've grabbed a bit of freshwater gear and I'm going freshwater.
Or you've booked a trip over to like the Eyre Peninsula, or you've gone to Port Hughes like we did, somewhere where it's not affected, fished a new spot, travelled out to the regions, you bought a pub meal, you bought a coffee at the local shop, you stayed in the caravan park, you're supporting the regions, and you're making the best of what's a bad situation for some of the state, Diz.
And we'd even accept a photo of you walking into a local tackle store to go and get some advice.
You've been out of sports fishing scene and you've got yourself a whiting combo.
Good call. All right, more of the specifics to come on that one, but all I'll say is it's a ripping piece of kit. You'll want to get your hands on this one, and when all you have to do is send us in a great photo supporting local, it's really not that hard, so get out and get around it. Rhodey, let's get into the news.
Rhodey and Diz have been searching far and wide to bring you the latest news across all fishing in the state, and will give you the rundown on what you need to know.
We're going to get the algae out of the way at the top of the news segment, Rhodey, so tell us where's good and where's bad.
Diz, the Fleurie's not great. I think Port Vincent, that side of Yorks, is not great either, but we were at Port Hughes last week and that was pretty well untouched, Diz. Beautiful over there. So Metro's still no good, but I don't know if it's changed majorly in the last couple of weeks, has it? This Gulf seems to be not great. The other one seems to be pretty good. Yeah,
I think that's a fair call. And, I mean, certainly no news of it pushing up substantially into Port Lincoln Way or anything like that. There's been a lot of media traction, both sides of government, federal government
I think Albanese's rocking up tomorrow.
I think he might have been here.
I thought it was tomorrow. I think the opposition were here last week.
Certainly very soon anyway, and if it hasn't been already. And, it's going to be interesting to see.
You know what we don't want to hear? We don't want to hear, we will do this, we will do this. Let's do something now.
Yeah.
Don't you reckon? Like, there's a lot of talk about theories and in the future we're doing this and all that. Let's try and make something happen straight away.
Yep. Good call, Roddy. Love that, mate.
The other thing we should mention is there was a meeting last week with all the local tackle shops.
Yep.
So the Australian Fishing Tackle Association was involved. I know there was a lot of wreck fish. There was government. There was a lot of the big players in tackle. I know Shimano was there. All your big tackle stores were there. And that was a meeting about sort of how we're going to move forward and support the industry and things like that, Diz, which is great.
It is great, and all we can hope for is that the sort of the ecosystem and nature sorts itself out as it has done for years and years and generations. So let's hope that things get resolved as quick as we possibly can. In the interim, we need to support them as best we can, Roddy.
Exactly right, Diz. And the last thing on the algae was that I think State Cabinet broadened the criteria for some of the small business grants. So hopefully that covers a few more of those businesses that have been heavily affected that somehow sort of slipped through the criteria initially, and maybe there's a few more that are now eligible.
Yep, good call, Roddy. All right, mate, Wrecked Fish SA, they've been doing their reef modules. We've been loving keeping up with that on their socials.
Yeah, it is. So jump on their Facebook page. There's a little video there from Asher showing some of they're like, how would you describe them? They're like concrete modules.
Sort of artificial reef-looking type of,
and
like
they've
coral
got,
type of
well, they've
shapes.
got yeah, they are a bit coral-shaped, I suppose, and they've got oysters and rocks and things all on the top, and they look really good, Diz.
They do, mate. They look.
So they're going to be put in across the state, both metro and sort of out in the regions. And I think they're going to put some in the tackle stores. Did I read that? So you can have a look at them in person, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's true. I don't think I made that up. And the theory is they're going to dump them all across the state, and heaps of different sort of corals and reefs and all that. The sponges will all sort of grow around them, and they'll become a home for the oysters and the little fish, which will in turn help our big fish to bounce back, Diz.
Good call. Anything that we can be doing to support the bounce back of recreational fishing and the sort of recreational fishing sector at large is a good thing right now when this algal bloom has just absolutely wreaked havoc on it. Rhodey, let's talk a little bit about the Marion Bay boat ramp, because that has been a discussion that we've carried on since it was commissioned. Yeah,
Diz, I don't think anything's been officially announced on this one, but I believe it has been discussed at council level, and there's some changes coming, but basically all we can say on that one is, Diz, it's been a flop, and what's probably going to end up happening is they're going to go back to a big concrete slab with not much else left, Diz, by the time they take out all the dangerous parts of it, and it's not going to be that different to what they started with. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so.
So it sounds like that pontoon or that jetty down the middle, the walkway down the middle is causing more harm than good, and sounds like it could be on the way out.
Yeah.
But we will keep an eye on any official announcements on that.
Yeah, very good. Rhodey, this next news story is one that we really don't like covering, but we do to keep everybody across. The fisheries and the government doing great work to continue surveillance and keep across some horrible behaviour that happens.
This was a weird one, Diz. So this was shared by Purser on Facebook, and it's a mutilated shark incident at Foul Bay. So there's been a 5-metre great white shark and a fur seal carcass found near Louth Bay. So they've said evidence suggests the shark was mutilated and suspected to have been illegally caught. A fur seal carcass and a southern bluefin tuna likely to have been used as bait were also found nearby. So that's what they're suspecting has happened. They've gone on to say this is a serious offence. White sharks are a protected species. Taking or harming one can lead to penalties up to $100,000, fine, or 4 years jail. That's pretty significant, Diz.
It is.
And I heard a clip, I think it was on Facebook, there was a clip of Shane from Tackle World Port Lincoln talking about this and just saying how difficult that would be to catch, particularly land-based. So whether or not there is some doubts, I don't know. We don't know 100% that was caught by someone. Do we think it could have been one of these sharks that's washed up related to the algae and then someone's sort of opportunistically thought, I'm going to take the jaws, which is better than having someone gone out and targeted it?
Maybe.
Don't know. That's just a theory.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to pull in a 5 metre great white lamb based on a beach? You'd need a dead set drum winch.
Yeah. I was just thinking that, like, you need something to winch it in.
Like, I just can't see anyone going down to your tackle store, buying a rod and reel and saying, this is going to pull in a 5 metre great white. You just watch me.
Yeah. That's true.
But I suppose person must be basing that on something.
Yeah. And we'll let them do their investigation, Rhodey. Another one that they're going to have to investigate now, prosecute to the fullest extent, we certainly hope, is 500 undersized abalone. Absolutely disgraceful. Hallett Cove.
Yeah, so this went to the Christie's Beach Magistrates Court and the pair were fined over $9,000. I'm still not totally sure that's enough. Fisheries officers counted a total of 595 abalone, with 553 of them found to be under the legal minimum size of 13 centimetres. The recreational bag limit is 5.
I don't understand.
So it's 100 times, more than 100 times.
And it's $9,000. You just talked about a $100,000 fine and potentially 4 years in jail
for a great white.
A great white.
And that's one great white. Like, I get it, a great white's a big thing, but...
Yeah, and they're protected, sure. I don't disagree. But 500...
Oh, and so SAPOL's Polar unit spotted the two men walking along the coastal boardwalk with large backpacks in the early hours of the morning. So they knew they were doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't just, they didn't have a language issue and they got a bit confused about the rules.
No, not when you're walking with a backpack along the Hallett Cove boardwalk and getting 500.
So they admitted to using diving equipment such as wetsuits, catch bags and shucking tools to collect the abalone from the intertidal zone.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty crook, Diz.
That is, mate. Let's talk about the Port Noarlunga jetty because that's about to reopen just in time for this better weather we talked about at the top of the show.
Yeah, Diz, I've had a couple of reports that looks to be nearly done and it sounds like the work is pretty well done and it's just being ticked off and all that sort of red tape done, Diz, but the work seems to have been done. It looks like it's nearly ready to go.
Bloody popular jetty.
That'd be good, Diz, and it will be good to see all those jetties across the state down at Kingston in the southeast, Robe, don't know about the Normanville jetty, but as many of them being rebuilt as quickly as we can.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully our Drossen moves along quickly.
Yeah, that was said to be 6 months though, so we've got a while to wait on that one.
No. All right, Roddy, good little news segment. Well done to you, mate. As always, let's get into the tackle item of the week.
Now it's time for Rhodey and Diz to really show you what it means to have all the gear with a lot of idea as they review a tackle item of the week.
Right, we're going to preface this at the top. We don't have one. We do not have a Minn Kota.
We don't actually know that much about them.
We've got aspirations.
We're not experts.
We've got aspirations.
But we need an electric motor.
Yeah, we do.
And Richard's Minn Kota was great.
Epic.
Really
Self-deploy?
good, yeah, that makes a big difference, particularly on that sort of boat. I get if you have like a center console walk around, it's not a big deal to go and flick it in.
Yep.
But that made a big difference too. And it just meant we were able to fish so many spots. And like we fished a spot and you want to move 10 metres, it's a bit of a pain to do that with an anchor.
Yeah.
And if the wind changes, the tide changes, you're swinging around a bit, you end up on the fish, then you sort of swing the other way. Wind against tide, that sort of thing, it can be quite hard to get right on the spot. But this Minn Kota, Richard could just say, yep, I want to move 5 metres that way, and bang, we were there.
Yeah. Also, when we were sounding around to find a patch of fish, we could move back to it. It was just, mate, it was a great experience to fish with that thing. And like you said, and like we've said, it just allowed us to fish a lot more marks and cover a lot more ground and just a really pleasant day on the water.
And that was for whiting fishing. It was really handy, Diz, but I think it'd be amazing for like deep dropping or jigging for nanagai or kingfish down around the Fleurieu, KI, Marion Bay sort of areas.
Yep.
Imagine, when you're fishing for nanagai and you go bang, bang, you catch a couple and then next minute, by the time you've brought them up, you've drifted off the school. You could just sit there and nail the whole school.
Yep.
get your bag limit before too long.
Yeah.
And they're expensive, Diz. I'm just looking here. It's about $3,000 for a Minn Kota, 55 pound, 54 inch, and up to about $5,000 for the 80 pound. Yeah. Which is 72 inches. And it's more expensive to get them mounted and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I understand they're expensive.
Yeah.
But if you got the money, I'd be getting one.
Yep, that's right. If it's in your budget or you're looking at your boat thinking, what's my next upgrade going to be? I look, what I would say is in anybody that you speak to, nobody sort of says, haven't used my trolling motor. It was a bit of a waste of money.
Yeah, and like 10 grand? Is that sort of ballpark to get it mounted and batteries and all that?
And Richard was telling us, obviously you can get different types of batteries, and batteries can be very expensive. You know, you could be talking $4 grand for a battery.
Yeah. So
if you really want to invest in a good one, of course you can get another one, but you want to have sometimes you might want to have that really long down the water where you are, giving it a bit of a workout, so to speak.
All right, Diz, you were talking about your birthday list. Maybe put that one on the Chrissy list.
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose if the...
Have you got enough vouchers to cover it?
That's what I was going to say. All right, Rody, brilliant stuff, mate. Let's get into the guest.
Now it's time to get our guest on the line. We'll ask them the all-important 5 questions, then chat all things fishing in SA.
Righto, Rody, we are very lucky to be joined now by Nathan Eates, the man behind Cape Calamari. Nathan, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
No worries, thanks for having me.
Now, Nathan, we know you're a guru squid fisherman in better times in the state, but we will get into all that algae and the squid and all that sort of stuff later. But let's just talk about some general questions first. Now, we know you fish mostly for calamari, but you dabble in bits and pieces around that. So tell us about your best fish.
My best fish is probably something I'm not allowed to target commercially, and that would be a barrel tuna. Went down the southeast and, managed to get one a couple of years ago, went 120 kilos. So.
Oh, epic. Did you take your own boat or you go on a charter or what did you do?
No, I actually just did a charter down there and we were lucky. The first trip I ever went for them, we hooked up within about 45 minutes of being on the water.
Oh, nice. Who did you go out with? What charter? Do you remember?
I don't actually.
No, that's fair enough.
I think it was, probably 7 or 8 years ago now, I reckon.
Yeah, epic. There's people. We've done quite a few. Well, we've done probably 2 or 3 trips down there now, and seen a few bust ups, but haven't managed to get one. So anytime someone tells us they've caught a barrel, it sort of gets us pretty jealous. So well done on that one, mate.
Oh, it was pretty incredible. Like it was blind trolling, just bang, and then on the way, I was buggered afterwards. Wasn't interested in catching another one, and then they were jumping out the water everywhere when we were going back home.
Wow, there you go. Nathan, tell us your favourite thing about fishing, mate.
I'm probably just getting out there and getting away from the life on the land, I suppose. You can just chill out and relax, and sometimes it's not that relaxing for me. It's just another day at work, but you still enjoy being out there in the fresh air.
You mentioned about sometimes it's not that relaxing. Does some of the, when you're going out in a professional sense, does some of that sort of disappear and it becomes more of a job, or you're still able to relax and enjoy the good times out in the water too?
You relax and enjoy the good times when it's a nice day, but it's not always a nice day. You get the conditions, the weather, the rain, wind, and sometimes you don't have a choice but to put up with it. And then, you got other natural things as well that makes it quite annoying. If you're on a good school of fish and there's dolphins hanging around you or seals, they obviously shut off and there's not much you can do about it. You just got to move on.
Yeah. Good call. Now, Nathan, what is one of your first fishing memories, or how did you get into it?
I guess I was just brought up into it. My dad was a commercial fisherman, my grandpa and my uncle, all commercial fishermen. So, ever since I could walk, I've pretty much been on boats.
Very good. We'll get into a bit more of that in a minute. So tell us about your favourite sort of fishing. Do you still love fishing for squid, or do you love to go and target some things that you can't do professionally?
Favourite would probably just be flicking for salmon off of a beach with light gear, I reckon. They go hard for their size.
Yeah, it's a good call. There's nothing better than walking along a beach trying to spot a school or something like that and flicking some slugs at them.
Yeah, especially when they're like anything above sort of a kilo size fish, they just go hard.
Yeah, good call. Now, Nathan, funniest fishing story, or tell us about the one that got away?
Funniest fishing story would be the 2013 Kingston Southeast Surf Fishing Competition. About
Here we go.
10, yeah, you'll like this one. About 10 o'clock at night, we've baited up the rod with a little whole squid that I'd caught the week before. Casted it out. It was freezing cold, howling southwesterly down at Salt Creek. Sat in the chair, put the blanket over me, fell asleep accidentally. Woke up 2.5 hours later, did not want to go check the rod, but went and checked it anyway. And for some reason, it was going back along the beach instead of going out to sea. Well, followed this line in and out of other rods and reels, and yeah, there was a 17-kilo mulloway sitting on the end of it that washed up on the beach, and it won the comp.
Oh, epic.
Didn't even turn
Didn't fight the fish. You just went and picked it up off the sand.
Literally, and it had my rig in its mouth attached to my rod and won a boat.
Did you tell them about that when you collected your prize?
Oh, maybe after we drove off with it.
Oh, that is very good.
You could have gone and been like, it fought so well, toiled away at it.
Yeah, it was on my rods. The guys that were with me actually had been fishing down there for 20 years in the comp and had caught a few fish in that time, but had never come out with the prize. And yeah, they were cursing me a little bit. But
wow, that's a very good story, Nathan. Well done on that fish.
Yeah, it's good memories.
Well, that certainly sounds like some much better than some of our trips down to Salt Creek where really all we've reeled in is seaweed all day the weekend. But
I haven't caught a legal mulloway there since or before that.
Yeah, wow.
There you go.
Oh, you picked the right weekend to do it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Now, Nathan, tell us, we know you've had squid fishing in your blood for a long time. Tell us a bit about the family story and how you've come to run the business today.
Yeah, so Dad's been a fisherman for 30-odd years. My grandpa was a fisherman forever as well, same as my uncle. As far back as I can remember, I've been going out on the boat catching. It's always squid. That was what everyone always fished for. After school, before school, I'd be out there with Grandpa fishing, weekends, every weekend, and then sort of finish school, and that's what I wanted to do.
Epic, mate.
Yeah,
and is your uncle still fishing today, or what's happening there still?
Yep. So I took over my dad's fishing license and started Cape Calamari. My uncle's still got a commercial license as well as charters as well. So, yeah, he has just sold part of the charter business over to Brad, I reckon. I reckon you might have interviewed him.
Fleurieu we did. Brad Talley. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're all in the same part of the world down here. So
yeah, nice. Now, tell us, we're gonna have to get into the nasty stuff now, Nathan. Tell us how the Algal Bloom. It's had a massive impact on your business and your fishing. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, well, probably first started in the start of March down our way. There was areas where we just stopped catching, and we realised the squid were just acting really weird. They were getting in areas where we wouldn't normally catch them, and it was just strange where they were, the depths of water they were in, and then all of a sudden they just disappeared, and we just stopped catching them altogether. And then going into April, I found a few further up the coast, up like past Warrina way, and that's where a lot of people were fishing at the same time. Everyone that was going there was catching them, and it turns out they were trying to escape the algae now, and that's why everyone was doing so well. And then, they just kept moving up the coast, and, it was like a funnel effect up the Gulf, and we seen it up the western side of Gulf St Vincent. Everyone that was fishing there was cleaning up, and the squid were moving about 2 kilometres a day to get away from this algae.
Wow.
The last squid I caught was April 18th on Good Friday. Oh. And I haven't even heard of a squid in my area since then.
Yeah, it's been so weird because we reported on that, didn't we, Dizzy, where different areas were getting like a hot run of squid bite, and everyone thought, it's a great season for squid, and then this algae just kept getting worse and worse, and it quickly became obvious why. Now,
that's right, and we thought the same. Well, how good's this? And we didn't know it was the algae because it was only early stages, but you look back now and it all just makes sense why everywhere's had these little hot runs.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we're seeing it in Spencer Gulf now with whiting and squid.
Yeah, it's amazing because
over there having some pretty hot runs, and we know why.
Yeah. Yeah, because we reported on that crook bloody that got done at Ardrossan around
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
And I remember
Yeah, well, there was
my
two
dad's
were in it the same week.
yeah, my old man's got a place over that way, and he was saying like, you know, could have caught squid hand over fist all day long.
Yeah.
Just never seen
Yep.
squid fishing like it was there.
Yep.
And then I reckon we must have done a trip like a couple of weeks
Yeah.
after that,
Yeah.
and we just could not catch a single thing.
Yeah.
No whiting, nothing.
Yeah, and that was the same thing down this way. Like, they were trying to escape the algae, and that's why they were abnormally thick. And everyone was like, how good's this? And the same thing, a couple of guys, the poachers, got caught, which was great to see.
Yeah.
And, yeah, everyone just thought, how good is it? But it was a false sense of economy of what was going on because they were trying to escape that algae.
Yes, now we know what's happened since. So you've been a long time now since you've been able to catch any calamari, and you've had a bit of a backlog in your freezer that you've chewed through. Are you through all your stock now? Is that right, Nathan?
Yeah, I've got no squid for sale at all for the
Yeah.
first time in 14 years of fishing.
So what's your week like at the moment? You're still out looking for the squid? Do you go out once a week searching for them, or what do you do?
Yeah, I try to go out a couple of times a week when the I try and pick the best weather days and get out there and cover some ground where we normally catch and try in some areas that we don't normally fish in much because we just don't know where they are or if they're alive or if they're in deep water. There's so many if, buts, maybes. So, yeah, we just keep trying. We don't know when the bloom's going to end either. So, yeah, we just keep going out and trying, but it's going to come to a stage where it's just not worth trying anymore.
Yeah, and are you able to fish for any other species, or are you able to move to a different area, or what other options do you have? I suppose.
Yeah, so there is other species I can fish for, but unfortunately most of them have been affected by the algae.
Yeah.
Australian salmon don't seem to be affected. I can catch them, but they're a very low value fish. And yeah, you can flood the market very quickly, and you only get a couple of dollars a kilo for them. And it's a lot of work catching them by hand.
Yeah.
As far as the other areas go, it's not as simple as just packing up and moving with cool rooms, freezers, ice machines, all that sort of stuff. And then if I go to Spencer Gulf, I need quota for the main species, King George whiting, squid, garfish. So it's not just as easy as packing up shop and moving.
Yeah, thank you for those insights, mate. Now, how can one thing I'm interested because I think probably, and the media obviously plays a big role in spreading all of this word about the algal bloom, etc. But if you think back to March, there's been so much discussion about it of recent times, but you've been experiencing this since March, which is really the best part of the year. So how can anyone support you, mate? Is it sort of, government needs to step up where they can, people need to still get down to their local fish shop and buy whatever they've got for sale and get it on the plate, or how can everyone out there support you in any way?
Yeah, so for myself at the moment, there's not really anyone that can directly support me while I'm not catching anything, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I'm still going to head out and try for secondary species. I generally sell everything I catch to local restaurants here on the Fleurieu. So probably just keep going out and supporting local businesses, local restaurants, local fish shops, your local tackle stores. Coffee shops down near the beach. Everyone's feeling it. So just support local.
Beautiful. That's a great message, Nathan. Now, can you tell us about I know you supply some of the great restaurants down there on the Fleurieu. Tell us about where we can get your seafood once things hopefully turn around.
Yeah, so Victory Hotel at Selix, the Star of Greece restaurant, McLaren Vale Hotel, Salopian Inn, Matolo Wines, the Little Rickshaw at Aldenga, they're unbelievable there.
Geez, you've just about ticked off all the good places to eat down there. There's no way you don't
weekends
supply.
away there.
I'm just trying to get a list because I don't want to forget anyone now.
No, that's all good.
Yeah, Maxwell Wines, they win a lot of awards.
Yeah.
The Aldenga Hotel support me with any little specials I can pop up at the time. There's plenty of
Very
Pretty Shack over at Galway. There's lots of little restaurants around the place that I supply.
beautiful. Now, Nathan, is it just a sense of fingers crossed for you? Do you have any? Has anyone been able to give you any indication of what may happen over summer or in the months to come, or what are you hearing?
It's to be honest, it's a pretty scary thought. They're thinking over for the summer months because everyone said the cold weather and the rough weather will kill this algae off. We're nearly through the other side of winter now, and the days are getting longer with more sunshine. So I'm pretty worried it's going to go the other way and hang around over summer, which is a pretty scary thought. And that's not just for me, but tourism in general.
Yeah, it's a big worry, the tourism and the caravan parks and all that sort of stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as the squid go, it's one thing that I haven't seen a photo of or seen one washed up dead. It's about the only species that we haven't seen washed up dead. We've seen lots of cuttlefish, but no one's seen a squid. So I'm hoping that they're out in deep water seeking refuge, and once the water cleans up, they may come back in.
Yeah, and I suppose the only other, trying to find a positive out of all this, squid are such a fast-growing species. Hopefully once the water clears up, they can turn this around a bit quicker than some of those slower-growing species.
Yeah, absolutely. They breed fast and they grow fast. So, yeah, fingers crossed for that.
Brilliant. Nathan, tell us a bit about your boat and some of the equipment. We're not sort of here trying to take all your trade secrets, but one thing that never, ever ceases to amaze me is because, I think we have occasionally been fishing near a pro and these sorts of things, and you're sort of like, we're fishing in the same ground. How is he pulling one after the next, and we can't even get one? So give us a few tips and some of your setup, mate. What boat are you running and what sort of gear do you run?
Yeah, so I've just got a 7-metre Nereus. Got it custom built only a couple of years ago from the guys up at Mystic Marine at Roseworthy.
Nice.
Got a big Yamaha outboard on the back of it. The thing could go anywhere, I reckon. As far as my gear goes, I just use a 40-pound hand line, two of them, just with a squid jig tied on the end. There's nothing special about it at all. I think it's just honing in on the right technique, which, to be fair, it's like any tradesman on their tools. You do it for long enough, you get good at it.
What about, you talk about the squid jigs, everyone's got their favourite. Do you have one squid jig? We're not going to ask you any specifics, but is there one that you go back to all the time, or do you sort of mix it up on the weather or the day?
The original Yozuri HS, the old green ones, I'm lucky enough to still have a few. So that's always been the go-to. But to be honest, colours don't really matter.
Yeah.
Just the most durable and, I guess, long-lasting squid jag, because a lot of the newer ones out now, they get destroyed pretty easy, and that's no good for me, especially when they're $20 a pop.
I was going to say, we've had some days out over the years where you get on a hot bite and you chew through a couple of squid jigs before too long. How long do they last you when you're catching as many as you do?
I suppose it's like tuna lures. Sometimes the more chewed up they get, the better they work. It's like a lot of tuna lures. The more paint that disappears, the more they seem to. That's the one that always goes off. But yeah, to be honest, when squid are hungry, you could drop an apple core in the water and they come up and grab it. They're not too fussy.
Yes, it's a bit like that sometimes, and it's funny. You hear people like yourself who are experts say the colour doesn't matter and things like that don't matter, but everyone still seems to have an opinion what colour works and what colour doesn't, definitely. And it's one of those things that lures are designed to catch the fisherman half the time, I think.
They definitely are, but there is certain days that I'll change up 5 different squid jags throughout the day, and something could work better than another, but I can't put a finger on what the pattern is. If something's not working, I just change it up and keep going.
Yeah, that's the way.
It's like every time there's a new squid jig out, I'm probably a sucker for buying them as well. Some work, some don't.
Yeah.
But on any given day, they'll all work if there's enough squid there. Like that run we had there, and other places are having now due to the algal bloom. Wouldn't matter what you throw in the water, you'll catch them. Yeah,
it's like that. We shared a video not long ago, Diz, of a caramella koala getting put on a hook and someone catching a nanagai. So it's one of those sort of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely with some of the cheaper jigs out there, though, like the components do fail on some of them. Like you get jammed on the bottom, you pull it out and your hooks are missing.
Yeah.
They'll still work. And if that's what your budget is, you'll still catch fish on them, but they're just not going to last as long.
Yeah. Now, Nathan, that's been a really good wrap-up of all things professional squidding, the Algal Bloom, your business, all those sort of things. And I suppose, thank you for coming on the podcast, and we certainly have our fingers crossed for you and everyone else in a similar situation. As you said, the local restaurants, tackle shops, caravan parks, pubs, everyone that's being hit by this, we're right behind you all, and anything we can do to help you out, make sure you reach out to us.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant, mate. Really hoping things turn around quickly, and thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Hopefully they do. I guess it's a bit out of our control, of course, but yeah, fingers are crossed.
It was great to have a chat to Nathan to hear about all the things that he's been witnessing on the ground and ways that we can support them during this time, and share some of his insights into fishing on the lovely Fleurieu Peninsula in South Australia, Roddy. Yes,
Dizzy, it's one of those bittersweet sort of chats. Like, great to talk to someone like that who knows a lot about what they do, but
good call.
I suppose we wish we could be talking to them in better circumstances, and we're going to have to get some of these people back on in the good times as well, Diz.
Yeah, great call, mate. Now let's get stuck into our fishing report.
Rhodey and Diz have been out on the water to bring you the news about where they're biting. Now it's time for the fishing report.
Righto, Rhodey. Well, the whiting are biting it at Port Hughes and certainly fishing quite well in the Spencer Gulf, in those hot spots, Port Vic, Port Hughes, Wallaroo, Moonta, some of those sort of areas. We went over and witnessed it firsthand, got a good feed of whiting, so it was good fun, Rhodey.
Yeah, it is, and I think that weekend was really good weather. So that was 2 weekends ago, and I think there was about 100 boats on the water from Port Vic, so going well there as well for the whiting. That winter whiting, normally the whole state sort of benefits, and we can go on the eastern side of the York Peninsula and metro waters and get plenty of whiting, but I suppose this year it's just a bit more isolated, but we would strongly encourage you all to get out and get into them, Diz.
Good call, Rhodey. A couple of rogue sort of occasional photos popping up from Metro you've been seeing?
Yeah, it's probably few and far between, but I think there are certainly people that are having a crack and getting some fish. So there are some whiting there somewhere.
Yep, you just got to get out there and get amongst them, eh?
Yes, Diz. Now, the other big species that everyone wants to hear about this time of year is the barrels.
Yes, where are they getting them? Port Mac?
Not sure. We certainly heard a bit about Port Mac a couple of weeks ago. Probably hasn't really fired on since then like we sort of thought. I reckon last time we went to air, Diz, we said there was one photo and we thought there's more to come. The weather was going to be good.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen a lot of photos since. Is that fair?
Yep, well, that's certainly my observations too. I haven't seen a lot in that space, so it'll be interesting because they do often have a second really good run.
Yes, they do. And Marion Bay maybe too. I think, was it Jackknife? Those guys put up a sounder photo, I think, that they said, could this be a barrel? Who knows? Could have been.
Interesting.
I've heard stories of Marion Bay, but I haven't seen any concrete evidence.
Well, there you go.
So who knows? I'd love to know though, Diz. If anyone wants to flick me a little message and tell me where they are.
Yeah, it'd be helpful, that's for sure. All we'll say is get out and get amongst them, have a crack.
You're not going to catch one sitting on the couch, Diz. That's what I'll guarantee you.
Yeah, good call. That's true. Rhodey, salmon fishing exceptionally well at Lincoln. We heard from Nathan saying that the salmon don't seem to be too affected on the Fleurieu, so of course you can get down there, walk the beaches, flick a few slugs at them and get around them. What else are you hearing on the salmon front?
So really big ones in the Port Lincoln National Park, like 3-4 kilo fish, which is massive. They get them normally further over west, but to get them in Port Lincoln's great.
Yeah, that's good fishing.
Yeah, and the Elliston salmon comp, Diz, is just about done, but got a little bit left in it.
So if you are over that way, you're thinking about heading over that way, get around it.
And we got tagged in a couple of photos of Matt Moat.
Yeah.
Who was over on KI, and he got, I think he was there for work or something, and had a couple of quick goes and got salmon, not big ones, but still good salmon, I think, while he was waiting for the jetty, while he was waiting for the ferry, and maybe at Kingscote as well. So there's plenty of salmon over on Kangaroo Island as well, Diz.
Yeah, love that, Rhodey. It's, one of those wonderful places that if you're over there, you'd be mad not to pack a fishing rod.
Diz, and this time of year, I think there's probably salmon all around KI, and you could just have a rod there ready to go. And wherever you went, you see them, have a quick go.
Get into them. Good stuff. All right, Rody, juicy little fishing report there, mate. Love that from you. Where can the listeners find us?
Dizzy, we're on Spotify, Apple Music. You can get us direct on our Buzzsprout page. You can get us on the Facebook, the Instagram, all the social media, Diz. I think you've been working away behind the scenes on a bit of a TikTok. Have you? Or is that unconfirmed?
Huge call if true.
Yeah, you never know. Might pop up on TikTok one day.
Wow, there you go.
But anyway, Diz, hit us up with your fishing stories. Keep an eye out for that fishing competition to win the rod and reel combo. And let us know if you'd like a bit of a broad-brimmed hat.
Yeah, and I think we probably do need to change our approach around the voice memos. We've pushed it hard.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to really contribute,
so
but they're welcome to.
I'm not quite sure what angle we should take there with.
Should we bring the joke back? Do you reckon that might get a bit more?
Maybe we should bring the joke back.
We'll think about it. All right, guys, that's enough of our rabble on about nothing.
See you guys.
Rody and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.